Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. I'm going to give you a quick how-to guide for the Devon Tread 2. I'm going to talk about its resistances and limits, charging and care, as well as how to use its functions, including setting the chronograph, constant seconds, and power saving mode. Okay, launched in 2013, the Tread 2 is the successor to 2010's sensational but monstrous Tread 1. Evolutions included the first water-resistant tread, 1 atmosphere, 10 meters, splash and rain exposure only, but it also included the first sapphire crystal, as the original had a highly resilient polycarbonate crystal that was almost immune to shattering but quite prone to scratches. This is the first sapphire used on a tread. Now you can see the watch is in power saving mode. When you turn the watch off, you're going to see a number between 1 and 0. So the index right next to hour in the minute scale is at 10. That's 100% charge. It takes about 4 to 6 hours to charge the watch completely. It has a lithium polymer battery that charges wirelessly on the included charging stand. Once used, it has a 7 to about 10 day power reserve. 7 days if you use the constant seconds, and more like 10 if you turn off constant seconds and simply run the watch in hour and minute mode. Now 12 is just a default number. As soon as I press the crown briefly, you'll see the watch activates itself and goes from power saving and power indication mode to the actual time of day. Okay, now you can see it's exactly 5 o'clock where I am. 5 and 00. Now there's a constant seconds mode that will cost you the minutes indication, so if you're the type who lives by very large increments of time or very small increments of time, you take the top to bottom toggle. There are 2 controls on the 3 o'clock side, and you just push it down. And now you have constant seconds mode. If you want to silence it, you push it down. Okay, now let's say you want to put the watch in power saving mode. You simply push the crown and it turns itself off. Now it's back into power reserve and standby mode. It can stay like this for about a month. After that, Devon recommends you charge the watch whether it's been used or not. Okay, let's turn our watch back on. Now we're going to talk about the chronograph mode, and this is important because the watch you see here features the alphanumeric N002. Nightmare is the model. It's a Tread 2 Nightmare. N means nightmare, and 12 is the serial number, so it's the 12th Nightmare made. The Nightmare was one of the debut models back in 2013, so it actually features an anachronistic and no longer used setting function for the chronograph actuation. So today, due to a firmware change, you actually push down and pull up to enable the chronograph. On an early Tread 2 like this one, you just pull up. And now it's in chronograph mode. Now in chronograph mode, by the way, when the watch goes back to Devon for its factory service, it will be updated to the current firmware. So when you get the watch back, it's going to be push down and pull up to activate chronograph mode. For now, it's pull up. And if you have an older Tread 2, maybe you just bought one online or you bought it from a collector, keep in mind, pull up to start the chronograph if down and up doesn't do it. So we're in default mode, which is 12. 12 is your 0, and then there is the seconds scale. Keep in mind that when 12 rolls over, you're going to have to remember that because the watch has a 12-minute indicator. Every 12 minutes, it reverts to the original 12 and goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 indefinitely until you stop the chronograph. So push the button, and this button is your on, stop, and resume functionality. So though it's a mono pusher, it has the same functionality as a conventional 2-pusher mechanical chronograph, in that you can start it, you can stop it, and you can resume. So now I stop and I push the toggle down to reset. Okay, now I've reset. Now let's say I want to go back into time telling mode. I push the toggle up. Okay, and then you can see it is 5:03. So now setting the Tread 2. You want to push the crown and you want to hold it until it starts to rotate. Now it's in setting mode, and you're going to set the hour first. By pushing the toggle down, a single push jumps a single hour. By pushing and holding, you can rapidly cycle. You got to be good with your timing to get back to the correct numeral, so I recommend just toggling it 1 hour at a time. Now, once you've got the hour you want, you push the button briefly. Once you've pushed the crown briefly, you're going to find yourself in minute setting mode. You can press 1 minute at a time, or again, you can push and hold. Now, you push the crown one more time to set that in stone. And finally, to deactivate the watch, you briefly press the crown. And that's how you use the Tread 2.